Morning, mighty historians. Mr. Holland here on this glorious Wednesday, April the 15th, our most favorite day of the year, tax day, even though it was extended, I guess. It's just, you know what? It's just such a delightful day to give your hard earned money to someone who's going to waste it. But hey, there you go. So, anyway, we've got a great day ahead of us. You guys will be starting class in about 2 hours or so. Um, and so, just some great things to share with you today. The first is a wonderful, 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 probably one of my most favorite quotes. Actually, pretty much every quote I have, I think, is probably one of my most favorites. So, anyway, this one, which I think we've done before in class, but is from President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, and it's called "Man in the Arena." Man in the Arena. So it's really, really good, and it's a little bit longer, but we're gonna work our way through it. But just wonderful, just wonderful. So here we go. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement? And who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly? So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And think for a moment of, maybe the Olympics, which I believe were postponed until next year. But think of the Olympics, and you have these amazing athletes who have devoted their lives to their sport, and they're going out. The world is watching. Literally millions and billions of people are watching them. And let's just take a track person, a track runner, and they're running and they fall. And we might critique them, we might judge them, we might even laugh and make fun of them. But the reality is, who are we to do that when we're just sitting on our couches with our Cheetos and we've got, Cheeto dust on our shirts, and we're doing nothing. And think about that, and think about our lives. I think back in my own life, and I think about just a couple interactions over the years at West Ranch with some parents who really, to be honest, don't have a clue about what goes on in a classroom, don't have a clue about education, and they're criticizing what we're doing at school without even having a clue. Think about your own life, and you go out there and you do the best. And I'm trying to find, where does he says, oh, he says, um, give me a moment. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? So that's someone running the race on the track. Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement? So someone who knows going into it that they have actually done their absolute best. And who at the worst, Roosevelt says, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So someone has said, I am going to do this. I'm going to do my best. I may not win. I may fail, but I'm going to go do my best at this thing. And you know what? Someone on the outside watching you might be judging you because maybe you failed at something, but you've actually attempted something. You've actually put yourself on the line and said, I am going to do this thing, whatever that thing may be. And I think in the end, if you have done your absolute best at whatever it is you are attempting, no one can criticize you. I think, as a culture, we like to judge and criticize people. I think it's a big part of our culture. It's a horrible part of our culture because a lot of us try and do our absolute best, and in someone else's eyes, it was worthless. But you know what? Go out there, and whatever it is you do, go do your absolute best. And knowing that it's your absolute best, you really can't fail. So, okay, moving on. I've got one quote or one advice. It's not an alumni advice, it's actually a former teacher of mine, Mrs. Grandforce from Saugus High School. And I had her in, let's see, what did I take with her? She was an amazing English teacher. Shakespeare, great class. I took grammar, and if anyone can make grammar fun, that's an amazing teacher. So, grammar, and then I helped with the yearbook senior year. So, Mrs. Grandforce, to you and to you guys, she says, the best and only advice my father gave me was to be prepared. Always prepare before you play. So, I know some of us have exams coming up in May, the AP exams. Some of us have big assignments that are due. So just make sure you have everything you need before you play. There we go. Okay. Just let me look at my thing. Um, I'm just going back real quick to look at history today. So, yesterday we talked about the Titanic striking an iceberg. Well, it sunk this morning. And then we also talked about Abraham Lincoln being shot, and he passed away. He died in the morning of April 15th, 1865. I'm just going through, there were a couple things. I'm just looking at a website. Um, okay, there was something interesting um, about this lady, this American lady who, oh, in 1861, speaking of Abraham Lincoln, in 1861, the Federal Army was mobilized by the United States President Abraham Lincoln, because remember, the Civil War started a couple days ago. Next up is, and then, okay, here it is, 1895. Josephine Blatt, wonderful last name there, makes hip and harness lift. I'm assuming that's some type of weightlifting thing, but of 3,564 pounds. Go, Josephine. Not getting in your way. Um, so I think that is it that I've got for this moment for today in history. So there we go. And then just one last thing. A couple of days ago, I did a video for your parents. And I asked them to reach out to you to get to know you, to really use this time in quarantine. Um, it's a very precious time. It's a very special time because you are never going to spend this much time with your parents. You never have, and you never will again. So it's a very, very, what I hope is a very special, precious, momentous time for you and your family. And what I asked your parents to do was to get to know you. What do you like? What is your character? What is your personality? Hopefully they've done that. But then I had the thought, what about you getting to know your parents? In a couple of years, you're going to go off to college. Most likely, you are not going to go back home to live. And hopefully, you will not be in your 30s living at home. Please don't. 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 No. Nope. 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 Anyway, use this time to get to know your parents. Ask them about their lives. What was it like for them in high school? It's very, most likely, I know I've mentioned back in the day, our telephones were attached to the wall. We didn't even have electricity at high school, but ask them what life was like when they were growing up. Ask them, has life turned out the way they wanted to? And ask them why or why not. Sometimes you'll find out the answer is no, and it's a much better reason, or it's a much better outcome than they ever dreamt. Um, Ask them what drives them crazy, and be prepared if they say it's you. Okay, and think about what or ask them, don't think about it, ask them what they think about what their hopes and dreams for you are. And I think sometimes that conversation of you being able to share, here's what I want to accomplish in life, here's what you want to accomplish in life, is very different than what our parents want. So hopefully you can have a conversation. Maybe they're waiting for you to address that. So I really hope that for you. And then just to end today's talk, um, get ready for another quarantine karaoke tomorrow. So I'm feeling it. I already the song's in my head. So anyway, you guys go have a great day. I will be ready for any questions you might have. But hope you go have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow bright and early, and then we have a weekend coming up. And just know I will be putting out something for a Zoom meeting on Friday. I'll put that out tomorrow though with those links, and that will be by class. Okay, so Mod Civ, Euro, and World, and we'll do those differently this week. Okay, so you guys go have a great day. I will see you later, and that is it. See you later.